Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your guides for turning complex source material into knowledge you can use right now.
That's the mission. And
Ah.
today we're stepping into a pretty unique arena.
Definitely unique. We're looking at a collection that connects championship boxing, the sweet science, as they say, with, believe it or not, cranberry preserves.
Exactly. It's called the Cranberry Championship Boxing Preserve Collection 2. And let me tell you, this is way more than just recipes. It's this incredibly detailed, almost like a training manual, covering 23 distinct cranberry preserves.
23.
23. And each one honors a specific legendary boxing match. So our job today, our deep dive, is to give you the full instructional overview. We're talking every ingredient, the why behind the techniques, the nutritional info, which is fascinating, and the fight analogies. It's all about getting you up to speed thoroughly and efficiently.
And what I find so clever is how it uses the food prep, the actual cooking techniques, to mirror the different fighting styles. You've got the sheer technical brilliance of a Sugar Ray Robinson,
Yeah, that precision.
right next to the raw, explosive power of someone like Mike Tyson. It's kind of genius. These aren't just jams or chutneys. They're these complex flavor profiles designed to, well, to fight above their weight class.
And that really highlights the core idea here. Disciplined, strategic preparation leads to championship results, whether it's in the ring or, in the kitchen.
So discipline is the key word. Understanding the basics, applying them precisely, building complexity layer by layer, just like training.
Exactly. So to make this manageable, we've broken down these 23 recipes into 4 themed rounds. Think of it like stages of a fight. We've got global heat, then technical precision, heavyweight power, and finally strategic legacies.
And then we'll wrap up with a deep dive into the nutritional side of things, right? The fact sheet.
The championship nutritional fact sheet, absolutely. It pulls everything together.
Okay, let's get started then.
Ding, ding. Round 1. This is where things get intense, right?
Yeah.
Global flavors, high pressure. This is global heat, spice, and intensity. The punchers. These recipes mirror those aggressive, forward-moving fighting styles.
All right, first up, recipe 1. The cranberry wasabi achar honors Ali versus Frazier III, Thrilla in Manila. 175 calories sounds intense.
Oh, it is. This is pure high-pressure endurance translated into flavor. The arsenal, the ingredients list, it's a real fusion. We're using fresh cranberries, crucially, lightly bruised, not chopped.
Bruised? Why bruised?
Let's get to that. The heat source is key.
Yeah.
Fresh wasabi root grated right before you use it. None of that green powder stuff.
Big difference, I imagine.
Huge difference. Cleaner heat, more complex. The base oil is rice bran oil chosen for its neutral flavor and high smoke point. Then you've got this foundation of mixed seeds. Mustard, sesame, nigella, plus turmeric for earthiness, a bit of shiso leaf. It's complex.
Okay, back to the bruising. The source calls the technique the 14th round method. Why bruise instead of chop? Seems like you'd risk messing up the texture, maybe making it mushy, like taking too many hits late in a fight.
That's exactly the point, and the brilliance of it. Chopping would release way too much liquid too quickly, destroying the texture you want in an akar. An akar, by the way, is typically a South Asian-style pickle or relish, often oil-based and spicy.
Right, I've had mango achar. Similar idea.
Similar concept, yeah. So lightly bruising the cranberry skin makes it act like a permeable membrane. It allows those volatile compounds from the fresh wasabi, the isothiocyanates, that's what gives wasabi its kick, to slowly penetrate the berry.
Ah, okay. So the structure holds, but the flavor gets in. Controlled damage.
Precisely. Like Ali wearing Frazier down, letting the damage accumulate. The heat builds slowly. It doesn't just hit you all at once.
And the oil technique sounds demanding, too. Heating the rice bran oil until it shimmers, blooming the seeds till they crack.
Yes, visual and auditory cues are critical here. That shimmer tells you the oil is at the perfect temperature, hot enough to toast the spices properly, but not so hot it burns them. And hearing those mustard seeds crack or pop, that's your signal they've released their maximum flavor. It's all about precision timing.
So the result is that unique, sinus-clearing heat, but balanced with the cranberry tartness. Pushing the limits like the fight itself. What do you serve it with?
The source suggests grilled tuna that Japanese-American fusion works beautifully. Or, interestingly, aged cheddar. The sharpness of the cheese really stands up to the heat and tartness.
And nutritionally, what's the knockout punch?
High sodium, for sure 480 milligram, that's 21% of your daily value, necessary for preservation in a car style. But you also get those unique isothiocyanates from the wasabi, and of course the high levels of proanthocyanidins for the cranberries themselves. Those are the powerful antioxidants cranberries are famous for.
Okay, intense start. Let's travel south now. Recipe 2, cranberry mole poblano chutney, 185 calories. This one's for Chavez versus Taylor. Thunder meets lightning. Sounds complex, like a good mole should be.
It absolutely is. This recipe embodies Chavez's relentless pressure. The ingredient list, the Mexican warrior's arsenal, they call it, is long and requires careful prep. You've got roughly chopped cranberries, sure, but then 4 charred and peeled poblano peppers.
Charred and peeled. That's step 1 for authentic mole flavor, right?
Essential. You also need fire-roasted Roma tomatoes, a base of toasted pumpkin and sesame seeds. Those need to be toasted separately. Then rehydrated ancho and chipotle chiles for color and smoky heat. And crucially, grated Mexican chocolate.
Not just any chocolate. Mexican chocolate has that unique texture and often cinnamon, right?
Exactly. And it provides that characteristic bitter backbone. And for sweetness, not just sugar, but piloncillo, that unrefined cane sugar cone, gives it an earthy depth.
The method here, the Azteca Stadium method, really emphasizes that pre-prep. Why is charring the poblanos so critical beyond flavor?
Well, the flavor is number one. The smokiness is fundamental. But charring the skin until it blisters also makes it incredibly easy to peel off that tough outer layer. You're left with just the tender, smoky flesh. The source analogizes it to stripping fighters down to their core, their enduring character.
I like that. And toasting the seeds separately.
Vital. Toasting pumpkin and sesame seeds develops their nutty foundation. That nuttiness gives the mole body and depth, preventing it from just being a sweet, spicy fruit spread. It needs that earthy base.
And the chocolate provides the bitterness.
That bitter complexity, yes. It's central, the source notes, to that Mexican fighting tradition, the idea of absorbing punishment, enduring, and finding victory through grit. It's not just about sweetness or heat, it's about that deep, complex balance.
So you layer all that smoke, bitterness, the sweetness from the piloncillo, the tartness from the cranberry.
It's an incredible counterpoint. The pairing suggestions reflect that richness. Serve it with mole-braised short ribs, something can stand up to it, or simply spread it on warm tortillas. Viva Mexico.
Nutritionally, this one shines for fiber. 6 grams, 21% DV. That's pretty good.
Very good, thanks to the seeds and peppers. You also get moderate capsaicin, the heat compound from the chiles, and a decent amount of magnesium, about 48 milligrams, 11% DED, again from the seeds and that Mexican chocolate.
Okay, from Mexico, we pivot east. Recipe 8, cranberry miso ferment, only 115 calories. Honoring Yabuki versus Gushikin, Oriental precision. You said this isn't a traditional preserve.
Correct. This is all about controlled fermentation, tapping into Japanese technique. The arsenal is lean but precise. Fresh cranberries, but they must be halved.
Halved this time, not bruised. Why?
Halving provides more surface area for the fermentation culture to work on, but still maintains some integrity. The key ingredient is white miso paste. That's the source of the umami, that savory depth, and crucially, the koji culture needed for fermentation.
Koji, like forsake and soy sauce.
Exactly the same family of beneficial molds and bacteria. Then you have rice wine vinegar for acidity, mirin for a touch of sweetness, sesame oil for nuttiness, a splash of sake, and plenty of fresh ginger and garlic.
And the method, the Koraku and Hall method, emphasizes discipline. You have the cranberries, salt them lightly. What does the salt do here?
The light salting starts drawing out moisture, kind of prepping the cranberries, making them ready for the miso paste and the fermentation process. It helps control the environment.
And this takes time, right? It's not a quick cook.
Not at all. This requires patience. 5 to 7 days at a controlled temperature, you're letting the microorganisms do the work, transforming the ingredients, developing layers and layers of complexity. It mirrors that dedicated, repetitive discipline seen in Japanese boxing training.
So it bridges east and west, the cranberry with the miso technique, and the result is umami-rich.
Deeply savory, yeah. The suggested pairing is grilled salmon, which makes perfect sense. Or you could just eat a spoonful straight for a probiotic boost.
Okay, but let's talk nutrition. The source flags this one. Extremely high sodium, 1,620 milligrams. That's 70% of the daily value in one serving. Why so incredibly high?
It is staggering, but it's essential for this specific process. First, that high salt concentration is necessary to control the fermentation. It inhibits spoilage bacteria while allowing the desirable miso culture, which is salt tolerant, to thrive. It's the preservation mechanism here.
Okay, so it's functional.
Highly functional.
Yeah.
And second, miso paste itself is inherently quite salty, so it's a combination. The trade-off, or rather the benefit, is you get a product incredibly rich in probiotics for gut health, plus isoflavones from the fermented soybeans in the miso, which have potential health benefits. But yeah, definitely one to consume in moderation because of the sodium.
Good to know. Still in this global heat round, recipe 9 is the cranberry chipotle leather, 105 calories. For Berbere versus Hamad, fire versus finesse, a leather, like a fruit roll-up, but intense.
Kinda, yeah. But think much more concentrated, much more potent. The arsenal is focused on maximum flavor density, a highly concentrated cranberry puree, whole chipotle peppers in adobo sauce.
Gotta love chipotles in adobo. Smoky, tangy.
Exactly. You use the peppers and some of that sauce for depth, and agave nectar acts as a binder and provides a bit of sweetness to balance the heat and tartness. The goal is intense flavor, minimal moisture.
The method sounds like a workout. The relentless pressure method. Slow reduction of the puree, constant stirring.
Yes, you have to reduce that cranberry puree very slowly until it's incredibly thick. Thick as the Mexican determination, as the source puts it. Constant stirring is non-negotiable to prevent scorching. It takes dedication.
And the chipotle heat, how does that play in?
It's described as building slowly, accumulating, like body shots in boxing. It's not an upfront blast, it's a persistent grinding heat that wears you down. The final step is dehydration, and it has to be perfect until the leather peels cleanly from the sheet.
Symbolizing.
Symbolizing the stripping away of flashiness, like Berbere breaking down Hamad's elusive style through sheer persistent pressure. The analogy is that relentless pressure overcomes flaky technique.
That's a great connection. And it's designed for portability.
Right, it's dense, high-energy nutrition you can take with you, or for fun, you can cut it into shakes, like little boxing gloves. Nutritionally, it's excellent for vitamin C, 42 milligrams, that's 47% DV, plus high capsaicin from the chipotles, and some beta-carotene too.
Moving across the pond now, with an African twist. Recipe 14, cranberry Berbere jam, 165 calories, honoring Hamad versus Kelly, Sheffield steel.
This one embraces Hamad's Prince Nassim persona. The arsenal starts with showboat crushed cranberries. The name says it all.
Huh. How do you showboat crush a cranberry?
With theatrical flair, according to the source. Basically crush them roughly, maybe with a bit of swagger to release juice and pectin, but keep some texture. The star ingredient, though, is the Berbere spice blend.
Berbere. That's Ethiopian, right? Complex stuff.
Very complex. Usually includes chiles, garlic, ginger, fenugreek, cardamom, coriander, cloves. It varies, but it's always aromatic and warm. It provides that exotic complexity that made Hamad's style so unique, that blend of British boxing grit and, well, Middle Eastern flair. There's also a finishing touch of Ethiopian honey wine, tej, for aroma and sweetness.
So the method, the Sheffield Southpaw method, is about getting that texture right and cooking the jam until thick but still bright.
Exactly. Cook it down until it sets nicely, but don't let it get dull or muddy. You want that vibrant color and flavor. It really bridges Hamad's Sheffield roots with that international spice profile.
Why this Prince reigns, the source says. How do you serve this featherweight flash?
On English muffins seems appropriate, playing on the British connection. Or pair it with a strong, crumbly aged Stilton cheese. The sweet, spicy, tart jam against the pungent blue cheese would be amazing.
Nutrition-wise, sounds like it might be sweet.
It is. This one clocks in with one of the higher sugar contents.
Yeah.
38 grams of sugars per serving, contributing to 42 grams of carbs total. You get moderate capsaicin from the chiles and the berbere, and a lot of aromatic essential oils from that complex spice blend.
Okay, last one in this intense first round. Recipe 17, cranberry harissa mostarda, 175 calories. And this one's for the big money fight. Mayweather versus Pacquiao, money versus Pac-Man. Sounds sophisticated.
It's designed to be. It reflects a meticulous strategy and, frankly, the luxury surrounding that fight. The arsenal starts with money-quartered cranberries.
Quartered again, like Mayweather's precision.
Exactly. Then traditional Dijon mustard, sharp champagne vinegar, potent North African harissa paste for heat and complexity, and a final touch of class with cognac.
So the method, the 12-round decision method, is all about that precision. Why quartering specifically for a mostarda?
A mostarda, traditionally from northern Italy, features fruit preserved in a mustard-flavored syrup. Quartering the cranberries gives them maximum surface area to absorb the syrup and mustard flavors while maintaining their shape and textural integrity. Crushing would make it too jammy.
Ah, okay. It's about the structure within the syrup.
Precisely. You also toast mustard seeds until they pop, releasing their pungent oils. Then you incorporate the Dijon, the champagne vinegar. The harissa brings in that international heat, that unexpected punch, and the cognac adds that layer of luxury fitting for the money fight narrative.
It sounds like a really premium condiment. What's the TBE pairing?
The best ever, yeah. Serve it with something equally luxurious like Wagyu beef, or pair it with high-end artisanal cheeses.
And nutritionally. We saw high sodium with the akar. Is this similar?
Very similar, another sodium powerhouse, 1,280 milligram, that's 56% of your DV. Again, driven by the mustard and the harissa paste, both typically high in salt for preservation and flavor. You also get high capsaicin from the harissa and the presence of allyl isothiocyanate.
What now?
Allyl isothiocyanate. It's the compound that gives mustard and horseradish their characteristic sharp, pungent kick. So you get that alongside the chili heat from the harissa. It's a complex heat profile.
Okay, round one was intense. Global heat, big flavors. Now we're shifting gears, right? Moving into round two. Technical mastery and elegant profiles. The boxers, the technicians.
Exactly. Thanks Sugar Ray Robinson, Lennox Lewis. These recipes are all about precision, balance, sophisticated pairings, and demonstrating real ring generalship in the kitchen. Less brute force, more finesse.
Starting with recipe 3. Cranberry lemon verbena compote, 125 calories. This one commemorates Robinson versus LaMotta Sixth, the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Seems fitting for Sugar Ray.
Absolutely. This compote is designed to embody that systematic, patient, technically perfect destruction. The sweet science in a jar. The arsenal reflects that focus. Perfectly selected cranberries' consistency is key here.
Meaning uniform size and ripeness.
Precisely. Then fresh lemon verbena, not lemon zest, lemon verbena for its unique, bright, floral, almost perfume-like aroma, wildflower honey for complex sweetness, and just a touch of vanilla bean paste to round it out.
And the method, the sweet science method, emphasizes gentle, precise cooking.
Very gentle. You cook the cranberries with the honey just until they begin to soften. The source explicitly warns against rushing this step.
Right, you mentioned that earlier. Explain that analogy again. Patience creating more devastating results.
Okay, so if you cook cranberries too hot, too fast, the pectin breaks down unevenly, the skins burst aggressively, and you end up with mush. It's a quick knockout, maybe, but it's sloppy. Robinson's genius wasn't just one punch. It was wearing opponents down, setting them up with jabs, footwork, defense. Then the final combination was devastating because of all the patient work before it.
So slow cooking keeps the cranberries intact.
Largely intact, yes.
Yeah.
They soften beautifully, almost candying slightly in the honey. And crucially, the gentle heat allows the volatile essential oils from the lemon verbena leaves to infuse the compote thoroughly without boiling away. It creates this bright, dancing herbal note that cuts through the tartness. It's sophisticated and effective.
Sounds lovely. Serve this pound-for-pound compote over panna cotta, maybe, or in pastries.
Perfect suggestions. Something delicate that lets the compote shine. Nutritionally, it's very low fat, but high in sugar from the honey, about 28 grams. The main benefits are antioxidants from the cranberries and those aromatic essential oils from the verbena.
Next up, recipe 6, cranberry mascarpone curd, 205 calories. This one is for Leonard versus Hearns the Thirst, the showdown, a dramatic comeback fight.
And this recipe reflects that it's luxurious, rich, and requires a focused rally to bring it all together. The Sugar Ray Symphony arsenal includes concentrated cranberry juice for intense flavor.
How do you concentrate cranberry juice? Just boil it down.
Pretty much, yeah. Simmer it gently until it reduces significantly, thickening and intensifying the flavor. Then you need room temperature railed. Mascarpone cheese, very important, it's not cold. Egg yolks for richness and thickening, and Grand Marnier, that orange liqueur, for a touch of elegance.
And the method, the 14th round rally, involves careful steps.
Very careful, sequential steps. First, you got that concentrated juice base. Then you whisk the mascarpone at room temperature so it incorporates smoothly until it's light and fluffy. The source likens this to Leonard's speed and footwork.
Yeah.
Then you incorporate the egg yolks, but one at a time, whisking well after each. This is like Leonard building his combination, setting up the final flurry.
And the crucial part is the cooking. It needs constant attention.
Absolutely. Curds are essentially egg-based emulsions thickened over heat. You need gentle, consistent heat and constant whisking. If the heat is too high or you don't stir, the eggs scramble. Game over. That constant attention ensures a perfectly smooth, silky, championship-level texture. It mirrors the focus Leonard needed to find that knockout combination late in the fight.
And the mascarpone adds that Italian richness.
Yes, it beautifully balances the tartness of the concentrated cranberry juice, creating that signature silky mouthfeel. This showdown winner is ideal for filling delicate tart shells, maybe topped with fresh berries.
Sounds rich. What's the nutritional scorecard?
It is rich. High in saturated fat from the mascarpone, and egg yolks, 11 grams, that's 55% of your DV. But it also delivers a good amount of calcium, 165 milligram or 17% DV, and vitamin A, around 680 IU, mainly from the yolks and cheese.
Moving up to the heavyweights, but still in the technical realm, Recipe 11, cranberry tahini paste, 155 calories. This one's for Lewis versus Klitschko, technical mastery.
A really interesting combination here, reflecting Lewis's controlled strategic approach. The ring generalship, arsenal, calls for precisely diced cranberries.
Diced again, not crushed or halved. Why dicing for a tahini paste?
Precision dicing ensures uniform little pieces of cranberry. These suspend evenly throughout the creamy tahini base, providing pops of tartness and texture without making the paste gritty or watery. It's about controlled integration. The base is tahini, that rich sesame seed paste common in Middle Eastern cuisine.
Right, like in hummus.
Exactly. Then you add pomegranate molasses for a deep, concentrated tartness, a splash of fragrant orange blossom water, and the complex Lebanese spice blend, za'atar.
Za'atar, that's thyme, sesame seeds, sumac.
Usually, yeah. Dried thyme, oregano, marjoram, toasted sesame seeds, and sumac for a citrusy tang. It adds this wonderful herbal savory complexity. The method involves whisking the tahini until it's perfectly smooth, creating that creamy foundation, then carefully folding in the diced cranberries and other flavorings.
So it's the blend of these non-traditional elements, tahini, za'atar, pomegranate molasses with the cranberry that reflects Lewis's unique, technically sound, maybe even unexpected championship style.
That's the idea. The nutty richness of the tahini is a fantastic foil for the cranberry's tartness, and the Middle Eastern spices elevate it beyond a simple fruit spread. This undisputed technique paste is great spread on warm pita bread, or served as a dip with crisp vegetables like cucumber and bell peppers.
And the nutrition reflects that tahini base.
It does. It's a good source of plant-based calcium, around 68 milligrams or 7% DV, and magnesium, 32 milligram or 8% DV. Both minerals are important for muscle function, nerve transmission, things a technical boxer relies on.
Now for something really different, Recipe 13, cranberry yuzu gel, only 95 calories. Honoring Ioka versus Valero, precision versus power. Sounds very Japanese, very elegant.
Extremely elegant. This is almost molecular gastronomy territory.
Yeah.
The bantamweight ballet arsenal is minimalist but high-tech, championship clear cranberry juice.
How do you get clear cranberry juice? Don't you usually just press it?
You'd need clarification techniques, maybe enzymatic treatment or very fine filtering, possibly even centrifugation in a high-end kitchen. The goal is pure, transparent juice, reflecting the Japanese focus on pristine presentation and technical skill. Then you need agar powder.
Agar, that's the seaweed-based gelling agent, right? Not gelatin.
Correct. Agar is vegan and sets much more firmly than gelatin, giving you a clean cut. It also requires specific handling and needs to be boiled briefly to fully activate. Then you add the star flavor, yuzu juice and yuzu zest.
Yuzu, that amazing Japanese citrus. Like lemon meets grapefruit meets mandarin orange.
That's a good description. Intensely fragrant, incredibly tart. So the Japanese precision method is all about control. You gently heat the clear juice with the agar, ensuring it completely dissolves. No granules left. Stir in the yuzu juice and zest off the heat. It sets quickly as it cools.
So the result is this firm, clear, intensely flavored gel.
Exactly. It showcases the pure essence of cranberry and yuzu through sheer technical skill. It's suggested as a palate cleanser between courses or served as small, elegant individual portions, maybe molded.
Very refined, nutritionally.
It boasts the highest vitamin C content in this technical segment, 45 milligram, half your daily value, thanks to both the cranberry and the yuzu. It also contains limon, which is the aromatic compound responsible for that distinctive citrusy smell in the yuzu zest, plus some natural pectin from the cranberry juice.
Let's bring in some Latin flair now. Recipe 16, cranberry blood orange marmalade, 145 calories. For Hagler versus Duran, hands of stone. Toughness and skill.
And vibrancy. The Panamanian Power Arsenal features stone-ground cranberries.
Stone ground, like grits or polenta. Why?
It suggests a coarser grind, maybe releasing more pectin and tartness aggressively, reflecting Duran's raw power. Then you have beautiful blood oranges, which the method specifies should be hands peeled, maybe implying care and attention to detail amidst the toughness. Aged rum adds Caribbean warmth and a touch of Caribbean sea salt for balance.
The method, the Manos de Piedra method, sounds like it takes work. Julienning the peel, blanching it multiple times. Why blanch the peel?
That's standard, crucial practice for good marmalade. The white pith under the orange skin is very bitter. Blanching the julienne peel, boiling it briefly in fresh water, maybe 2 or 3 times removes that bitterness, while softening the peel and setting its gorgeous, deep red color. It retains the aromatic oils but gets rid of the harshness.
So it's precision work, balancing Duran's raw power, the stone-ground cranberry, with finesse.
The peel prep. Perfectly put. The aged rum adds that authentic Caribbean note. The result is a sophisticated marmalade where the blood orange's unique, berry-like sweetness balances the cranberry's tartness. It's worthy of Duran's legendary toughness and skill.
No must never. Serve this on plantain bread, maybe? Or as a glaze for roast pork?
Both sound fantastic. Nutritionally, this is another vitamin C star. 55 milligram, hitting 61% DV thanks to both fruits. It's also high in anthocyanins. Those are the pigments that give blood oranges their red color and act as powerful antioxidants. And it provides a bit of folate, too, about 25 milligrams.
Okay, last one in the technical round. Recipe 22. Cranberry champagne vinegar. Very low calorie, 65 calories. For De La Hoya versus Mosley, Golden State War. Sounds luxurious.
It's all about controlled fermentation, leading to a high-end product. The arsenal uses Golden Boy crushed cranberries, celebration-quality champagne, not just any sparkling wine, and crucially, a raw champagne vinegar starter, also known as the mother.
So you're actually making vinegar from scratch?
Yes. The staple center method is a patient two-stage fermentation. It takes time. 14 to 16 weeks, the source says, carefully monitored like a fighter's training camp.
Walk us through the stages.
Okay, first, you crush the cranberries and mix them with the champagne. Yeast, either added or naturally present, converts the sugars into alcohol. That's your base wine, essentially. Stage 1, alcoholic fermentation.
Okay, then the vinegar part.
Then you introduce the mother, the vinegar starter. This contains acetobacter, specific bacteria that consume alcohol and convert it into acetic acid in the presence of oxygen. Stage 2, acetic fermentation.
So the champagne provides the base, flavor, and sugars, and the acetobacter does the conversion work.
Exactly. The quality of the champagne elevates the final product. Cranberry sugars provide a good base for the initial fermentation. It needs careful monitoring temperature, oxygen exposure to ensure the acetobacter thrives and doesn't produce off flavors.
A real labor of love, resulting in a Golden Boy-approved vinegar.
A unique, complex fruit vinegar. Perfect for light vinaigrettes, maybe something with avocado and citrus for that California cuisine feel, or used as a final acidic splash on seafood.
Nutritionally, it's very low-cal. The key components are
The acetic acid itself, typically around 5% concentration in vinegar, which gives it the characteristic bite and potential metabolic benefits. And because it's made with a raw starter and isn't pasteurized, it should retain some active probiotics from that mother culture.
All right, we've seen the technicians. Now it's time for the big hitters. Round 3, heavyweight power and luxurious richness, the knockouts.
This is where we see richer ingredients, intense reductions, high-fat techniques, and decisive, powerful flavor combinations. Think Foreman, Tyson, Hagler-Hearn's intensity.
And we're starting with maybe the most surprising recipe in the whole collection. Recipe 4, cranberry bone marrow confit. 285 calories, the highest calorie count so far. For Foreman versus Ali, Rumble in the Jungle, seriously, cranberries cooked in beef fat.
Seriously, it sounds wild, but it's based on the classic French preservation technique of Conti cooking and storing food in its own fat or another added fat. This is the ultimate culinary rope-a-dope.
Okay, explain the arsenal, the Zara surprise.
Whole cranberries kept intact, roasted beef marrow bones where you scoop out that rich marrow, fresh herbs like thyme and bay leaves for aroma, and a mix of black and pink peppercorns for spice.
So you render the marrow first?
Yes, gently heat the scooped marrow until it melts into a clear fat. Then comes the crucial rope-a-dope strategy, temperature control. You heat the rendered marrow to precisely 150 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's incredibly low, barely warm.
Exactly, it's the key to Cavent. At that low temperature, the whole cranberries cook very slowly in the rich fat. They soften, absorb the savory richness, and become almost translucent, jewel-like, as the source describes it, without bursting or dissolving. It takes patience, like Ali absorbing Foreman's punches on the ropes. African sea salt is added for minerality.
So the marrow acts as the cooking medium and the preservation agent.
Precisely. The fat surrounds the cranberries, protecting them from the air. The result is this incredible, sweet, tart, savory, rich combination. Bone marrow's luxuriousness enhances the cranberry's tartness in a way you wouldn't expect. It's a total surprise, a strategic masterpiece, like Ali's victory.
Mind blown. How do you serve this Ali shuffle confit?
The source suggests serving it warm, maybe spread on thick slices of grilled rustic bread, or pairing it with bitter greens like frisee or arugula, where the bitterness cuts through the richness perfectly.
Nutritionally, this is a heavyweight. Highest saturated fat, we'll see. 12 grams, 60% of the DV.
Yes, it's incredibly rich. But the marrow also provides significant nutritional benefits. Very high vitamin B12, 2.1 micrograms, a whopping 88% DV, which is vital for nerve function and energy, and a good amount of iron, 2.8 milligrams, 16% DV, essential for carrying oxygen, so it's a trade-off.
Wow. Okay, moving from Czar to the Vegas Strip, recipe 7. Cranberry Cognac Dolce, 225 calories. For Hagler versus Herms, the war. 3 rounds of absolute mayhem.
And this recipe captures that controlled aggression, that intense beauty within the violence. The middleweight warfare arsenal uses battle-tested cranberry juice, maybe implying a really robust tart juice. Brown sugar, heavy cream, butter, VSOP cognac, adding that touch of class.
VSOP, very superior old pale.
Right, aged at least 4 years. And here's the kicker. A pinch of cayenne pepper, just a tiny bit.
The hidden punch. So the method, the first round war, is aggressive.
It requires controlled aggression. First, you reduce the cranberry juice to concentrate its flavor. Then you cook the brown sugar until it approaches caramelization. This is high risk. You need intense heat, but if you go a second too long, it burns and becomes bitter. Utter precision is needed.
Like landing the perfect punch under pressure.
Exactly. Then you carefully whisk in the cream and butter off heat to stop the cooking and create that rich, dode de leche-like texture. The cognac goes in near the end for flavor and aroma, and that tiny pinch of cayenne provides a surprising warmth on the finish, like those unexpected power shots in the fight.
The source says this shows how violent encounters can produce transcendent art.
I think that fits. The complex warmth of the cognac, the deep caramel notes, the tart cranberry, the rich cream, that hint of heat is beautiful. This marvelous Victory Dulce is perfect drizzled warm over bread pudding or maybe spooned over roasted pears.
Nutrition sounds decadent.
It is. High in sugar, again, 34 grams, moderate antioxidants from the cranberry, and maybe a tiny bit from the cognac. A little bit of iron, about 4% DV.
Now for pure, unadulterated power. Recipe 10. Cranberry Truffle Compound Butter, 215 calories. Honoring Tyson versus Spinks, 91 seconds.
This is all about instant impact. Devastating luxury. The devastating power arsenal uses a fascinating technique. Flash frozen, then powdered cranberries.
Powdered cranberries. Why freeze them first?
Flash freezing makes the cranberries brittle, allowing them to be pulverized into a fine powder, likely using something like a spice grinder or a high-powered blender. The key reason is moisture control.
Ah, because water is the enemy of butter.
Exactly. Adding fresh or pureed cranberries would introduce water, potentially causing the compound butter to separate or become icy when frozen. Powdering gives you intense, concentrated cranberry flavor and color without adding moisture. It allows the cranberry essence to fully incorporate into the high-fat European butter.
Genius. So the technique has to be fast and decisive, like the fight.
Right. You blend the room temperature butter with the cranberry powder, black truffle paste for that earthy, unmistakable luxury, and just a touch of dry sherry to round it out. Swift, decisive, powerful.
The truffle really makes it heavyweight. How do you use this undisputed champion butter?
Think finishing touch. A pat melted over a perfectly cooked prime steak just before serving, or used to finish sautéed or roasted mushrooms where the earthy flavors complement each other beautifully.
Nutrition. We know it's rich.
Tied with the bone marrow confit for the highest saturated fat, 12 grams, 60% BV, also high in sodium, 685 milligrams or 30% DV, mostly from the butter and truffle paste, which often contains salt. It also brings selenium, a trace mineral often found in mushrooms and truffles, important for antioxidant defense.
Let's cross the Atlantic again. Recipe 15. Cranberry port wine jelly, 115 calories. For the undefeated Welsh wizard, Calzaghe versus Hopkins. Technical brilliance and longevity?
This recipe reflects Calzaghe's smooth style and enduring career. The Valley's victory arsenal calls for undefeated cranberry juice, maybe suggesting a particularly clear, high-quality juice. Vintage port wine adding depth and complexity. Liquid pectin for a reliable set, and Welsh honey for a touch of homeland sweetness.
The method, the Newbridge method, focuses on concentrating flavor. It mentions reducing the port wine by half.
Yes, that reduction is key. Gently simmering the vintage port cuts the volume by half, but intensely concentrates its complex flavors, dark fruit like plum and blackberry, spice notes, maybe some chocolate or oak from aging.
So you get all that complexity in a smaller volume.
Exactly. Then you combine that reduced port with the cranberry juice, sugar, applied for jelly, Welsh honey, and liquid pectin. You cook it to the precise temperature for a perfect gel consistency. It's about balancing the sweetness, the tartness of the cranberry, and the rich complexity of the port.
And the source says it improves with age, like Calzag's legacy.
That's the idea. A well-made jelly with good acidity and sugar content can indeed develop more nuanced flavors over time. This Pride of Wales jelly is perfect with cheese, especially a sharp, crumbly Welsh cheddar like Carefully, or use it as a glaze for roasted lamb.
Any nutritional standouts?
The key one here is resveratrol, that powerful antioxidant found in the skins of red grapes, and thus concentrated in port wine. Plus, general high antioxidants from both the cranberries and the port.
Back to Zaire for another perspective on the rumble in the jungle. Recipe 18, cranberry date preserves, 165 calories. Also Ollie versus Foreman, but focusing maybe more on the strategy.
Yes, this one emphasizes the rope-a-dope strategy through contrasting textures and sweetness. The Kinshasa Gamble arsenal features Ollie chunked cranberries, suggesting maybe larger, more distinct pieces, and Foreman pitted medjool dates.
Medjool dates. Those are the big, soft, super caramelly ones.
Exactly. Big, powerful flavor, like Foreman, then raw honey as a binder and sweetener, and dark rum for warmth.
So the greatest strategy method is about how these ingredients interact during cooking.
Precisely. You cook them slowly, the powerful medjool dates soften and almost melt into the syrup, providing intense natural sweetness and body. Meanwhile, the tougher, chunked cranberries maintain more of their structure and tartness, like Ali absorbing the punishment but staying whole. Patience is key.
So the date sweetness counters the cranberry tartness, showing how strategy, a la cranberry structure, overcomes raw power, Foreman date sweetness.
That's the interpretation. The honey helps bind these opposing forces, and the dark rum adds that Caribbean complexity, maybe a nod to the global stage of the fight. This float like a butterfly preserve sounds wonderful with tangy aged goat cheese or spread on something nutty like an almond cake.
Nutritionally, dates mean fiber, right?
Absolutely. This one is a fiber champion, 5 grams, 18% DV. Dates are also rich in minerals, so this preserve provides notable levels of potassium, 320 milligrams, 9% DV, important for fluid balance and nerves, and copper, about 0.2 milligrams or 22% DV, which is involved in iron absorption and energy production.
Okay, our final heavyweight contender, recipe 23, cranberry vanilla bean syrup, 165 calories, celebrating Lewis versus Tyson, heavyweight redemption. Sounds like a classy finish.
It's designed as a luxurious, technically superior finale. The heavyweight finale arsenal calls for heavyweight concentrated cranberry juice, organic sugar, and not one but 3 champion split and scraped vanilla beans.
3 vanilla beans. That's serious vanilla flavor.
Intense vanilla, yeah. Plus, heavy cream and butter for richness, and a final flourish of edible gold leaf for pure luxury.
The redemption process method focuses on patient perfection.
Yes. First, you concentrate the cranberry juice, reflecting Lewis's focus and control. Then you scrape the seeds from those 3 vanilla beans with precision, likened to Lewis's accurate jab. Importantly, you add the scraped pods and the seeds to the syrup as it simmers to infuse maximum vanilla flavor.
And the cream and butter finish it off.
Crucially, they're added off the heat. You whisk them in at the end to create a smooth, luxurious, slightly thicker texture without risking curdling the cream. It elevates a simple syrup to something truly special, reflecting Lewis's superior technique winning out.
This undisputed legacy syrup sounds amazing drizzled over pound cake, or maybe even stirred into coffee.
Definitely. The nutritional focus here is on those rich, finishing ingredients. 4 grams of saturated fat, 20% DV from the cream and butter. And the dominant flavor compound is vanillin, the primary aromatic from the vanilla beans.
Okay, we've weathered the power punches. Now for our final round, round 4. Strategic complexity and undefeated legacies. The legends who combine skill, strategy, and maybe something unique.
Exactly. This round features techniques like conserves, gastriques, reductions, and shrubs methods that often involve unique flavor combinations, perhaps regional influences, and rely on balance and longevity.
We kick off with recipe 5, cranberry macadamia conserve, 195 calories. Honoring Pacquiao versus De La Hoya, the dream match. Sounds tropical.
Very tropical, reflecting Pacquiao's Filipino roots. The Filipino Flash Collection arsenal includes corded cranberries, toasted macadamia nuts, coconut palm sugar for caramelly sweetness, coconut rum, pineapple juice for brightness and acidity, and a hint of cardamom for warmth.
You mentioned earlier a conserve usually has whole fruit and nuts.
Typically, yes. Unlike a smooth jam, a conserve celebrates texture. The method here, the 8-division method, emphasizes toasting the macadamia nuts until golden. Why macadamias?
They're buttery, right? Buttery and crunchy.
Incredibly buttery, providing a fantastic textural contrast to the softened cranberries. But more than that, macadamias are packed with healthy monounsaturated fats. That's the key contribution here. The coconut rum adds tropical authenticity, the pineapple juice gives it that necessary tartness and brightness reflecting Pacquiao's speed, and the cardamom adds a warm spice note.
So the healthy fats from the nuts are a big part of this one's story.
A huge part. Nutritionally, this preserve is very high in total fat, 24 grams, 31% DV, but that's dominated by a whopping 19 grams of monounsaturated fat. That makes it a real standout for heart health within this collection. This Southpaw Surprise conserve would be great with grilled fish, leaning into those Pacific Rim flavors, or maybe surprisingly paired with a salty, nutty cheese like aged manchego. It also offers a good amount of thiamine, vitamin B1, about zero point 0.3 milligrams or 25% DV, often found in nuts.
Interesting blend. Next, recipe 12, cranberry balsamic gastrique, 125 calories. Dedicated to the epic trilogy, Ward versus Gaddy, Arturo's Heart, Skill versus Unbelievable Heart.
And this recipe tries to capture that balance. The Thunder and Lightning arsenal uses Warrior concentrated cranberry juice, high-quality aged balsamic vinegar, raw honey, and a surprising touch of ground fennel seed.
Fennel seed adds an anise note.
A subtle, slightly sweet, licorice-like note, yeah. It complements both the cranberry and the balsamic. The method, the Celtic Warriors method, is all about patient reduction. A gastrique, as we touched on, is essentially a sweet and sour syrup made by reducing vinegar and sugar or honey.
So you reduce the concentrated cranberry juice further, then add the aged balsamic and honey?
Exactly. The aged balsamic brings this incredible depth and complexity notes of fig, molasses, wood, far beyond simple vinegar tartness. You cook it down carefully until you reach that perfect balance of sweet and sour. The source suggests this balance represents the fusion of Ward's technical skill and Gaddy's undeniable heart, proving boxing is about more than just winning.
That's a beautiful analogy. This Irish heart gastrique sounds like it would be amazing drizzled over grilled sausages, or maybe roasted root vegetables like carrots or parsnips.
Perfect uses. That sweet-sour element cuts through richness and enhances earthy flavors. Nutritionally, the benefits come from the concentrated fruits and vinegar, very high antioxidants from both cranberry and balsamic, and of course the acetic acid from the vinegar.
Let's head to the Caribbean now. Recipe 19, cranberry pomegranate reduction, 105 calories. For Trinidad versus Hopkins, Caribbean fire. Pure Puerto Rican power.
This one is about concentrating that intensity. The Tito Thunder arsenal features hurricane-concentrated cranberry juice, concentrated pomegranate juice, Caribbean honey, maybe something darker, more floral, allspice for that classic Caribbean warmth, and a definite kick from Scotch bonnet powder.
Scotch bonnet, that's serious heat.
Handle with care. The Puerto Rican power method involves reducing both the cranberry and pomegranate juices together, simmering them down until the mixture is thick and syrupy, flowing thick as the tropical air, as the source poetically puts it. It's a concentration of flavor and power, mirroring Trinidad's devastating left hook.
So the pomegranate adds another layer of tartness and complexity.
Yes. Pomegranate juice has its own unique, tangy, slightly tannic profile that complements the cranberry beautifully. The allspice and Scotch bonnet provide that authentic Caribbean heat and spice without, hopefully, completely overwhelming the fruit.
What's special about pomegranate nutritionally beyond antioxidants?
Pomegranates contain unique compounds called punicolagens. These are extremely potent antioxidants, even more so than those found in red wine or green tea, according to some studies. They're particularly noted for fighting inflammation. So this Borinquen Pride reduction, served over grilled plantains or maybe finishing some jerk chicken, packs a real health punch alongside its flavor. Very high antioxidants overall.
Now for another interesting technique. Recipe 20, cranberry elderflower shrub, low calorie, 85 calories, commemorating Marciano versus Charles, Rocky Road, the undefeated champ known for toughness.
This recipe uses a shrub, or drinking vinegar, to capture Marciano's relentless work ethic, but maybe adds a touch of unexpected elegance. The Brockton Blockbuster arsenal uses rocky muddled cranberries, suggesting a rougher muddle perhaps, sweet elderflower cordial for floral notes, apple cider vinegar with the mother, and wildflower honey.
Okay, the undefeated method. How do you make a shrub? It involves maceration.
Yes. You gently muddle the cranberries to release their juice and essence, but keep them somewhat intact. Then you combine them with the elderflower cordial, honey, and the apple cider vinegar, importantly, with the mother still present.
The mother being that cloudy stuff, the live culture.
Exactly. That's the colony of beneficial bacteria, Acetobacter, and yeast. You let this mixture macerate, sit, and infuse for 48 to 72 hours at room temperature. During this time, the flavors meld, and the live culture in the vinegar might even continue some slow fermentation, creating complexity. The elderflower adds this delicate floral note, balancing Marciano's rough edges.
So it's like a healthy, complex, cordial base.
Precisely, a probiotic drinking vinegar. This Brockton Strong shrub is designed to be mixed with sparkling water for a refreshing, tangy beverage or used as a complex mixer in cocktails.
Nutritionally, low calorie is good. What else?
It contains quercetin, a flavonoid antioxidant found in cranberries and elderflowers, known for its anti-inflammatory properties and ability to help stabilize vitamin C. And of course, because of the raw vinegar with the mother, it delivers active probiotics.
Our final recipe in this round and the collection is recipe 21, cranberry acacia honey syrup, 145 calories, a tribute to Robinson versus Basilio, Sugar Ray's Swan Song. Sounds like pure class.
The ultimate expression of technical mastery and refinement, the pound-for-pound perfection arsenal uses perfection concentrated cranberry juice, delicate acacia honey, aged brandy for sophistication, and a tiny, luxurious pinch of saffron.
Saffron, wow. And acacia honey specifically, why not just any honey?
Acacia honey is known for being very light, clear, and having a delicate floral taste with a pure sweetness. Unlike, say, buckwheat or even wildflower honey, it doesn't have strong competing flavors. It allows the pure essence of the cranberry to shine through, enhancing it rather than masking it. It's about purity and refinement.
So the sweet science mastery method is about showcasing that purity.
Absolutely. You gently reduce the concentrated juice, reflecting Robinson's deep boxing knowledge. Then you sweeten it with the acacia honey. The aged brandy adds subtle oak and fruit notes, adding sophistication. And that pinch of saffron lends an exotic aroma and a beautiful golden hue. Maybe a final touch of orange blossom water for artistry.
It sounds like a truly premium syrup, fit for the greatest.
That's the goal. This pound-for-pound perfect syrup would be incredible drizzled over French toast or waffles, or used as a high-end sweetener in classic cocktails. Nutritionally, the highlights are natural enzymes often found in high-quality, minimally processed honey like acacia, and high antioxidants from the cranberries and saffron.
23 recipes down. Incredible tour. Now let's step back and look at the big picture with the Championship Nutritional Fact Sheet. What are the key health takeaways from this entire collection?
Well, despite the huge variety in techniques and flavors, there are some unifying nutritional themes, mostly thanks to the star ingredient, the cranberry. First and foremost, championship antioxidants. We're talking elite levels of proanthocyanidins, or PACs.
PACs. Those are the compounds famous for helping with urinary tract health, right?
They are, but their benefits go way beyond that. PACs are powerful antioxidants that help fight cellular damage throughout the body, support cardiovascular health, and may have anti-inflammatory effects. This collection delivers them in spades.
Okay, what else?
Across the board, you see a vitamin C knockout. Cranberries are naturally rich in vitamin C, and many of these recipes preserve it well, supporting immune function and potentially aiding recovery from physical stress, whether that's training or, intense cooking.
And anti-inflammatory power generally.
Yes. Beyond just PACs, cranberries, and many of the added ingredients like ginger, turmeric, pomegranate, certain spices contain compounds that help combat inflammation. That's relevant for overall health and recovery.
We also saw a few recipes focusing on gut health.
Definitely. The probiotic performance from the fermented options, the miso ferment, the elderflower shrub, the champagne vinegar is a key highlight. These introduce beneficial bacteria that support digestive health and can even influence immune function. It shows how preservation techniques themselves can add nutritional value.
Okay, but it wasn't all halo and wings. We saw some extremes too. Let's talk contrasts. Saturated fat.
The highest levels were clearly in those ultra-rich fat-based recipes. The cranberry bone marrow confit and the cranberry truffle compound butter, both clocked in at 12 grams per serving, which is 60% of the daily value. That's a direct result of using marrow and high-fat butter as primary ingredients. It's functional for the confit and compound butter techniques.
Sodium was another big one.
Huge swings there. The undisputed champion, by a mile, was the cranberry miso ferment at 1620 milligrams, 70% DV. As we discussed, that's almost entirely necessary for the specific fermentation process using salt-rich miso. The cranberry harissa mostarda was also very high at 1280 milligrams, 56% DV, driven by the salt in the mustard and harissa. It really highlights how traditional preservation often relies heavily on salt.
What about sugars and carbs? Where did those peak?
The highest were the cranberry Berbere jam and the cranberry date preserves. Both hit around 42 grams of total carbohydrates per serving, with 37 to 38 grams of that being sugars. For the jam, that's largely added sugar needed to achieve the right gel set with pectin. For the date preserve, it's the intense natural sweetness of the medjool dates themselves contributing most of it.
But beyond the macros, there were some impressive micronutrient stars, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really diverse strengths. The bone marrow confit, despite the fat, delivered incredible amounts of vitamin B12 and iron. The cranberry blood orange marmalade was a vitamin C powerhouse, 61% DV, boosted by those anthocyanins. And the cranberry macadamia conserve stood out for its massive dose of healthy monounsaturated fat, 19 grams. It shows how different preparations unlock different nutritional profiles.
Finally, let's talk shelf life. These are preserves, after all. But what's the storage guidance?
The source recommends refrigerating all these preserves after opening and aiming for optimal quality within 12 to 16 months.
A year to 16 months. That's pretty impressive longevity.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the source makes a key point. It's not just the sugar or salt or vinegar doing the work. Cranberries themselves contain natural antimicrobial compounds. These inherently help fight spoilage, contributing to both the safety and the nutritional stability of the preserves over that long period. The base ingredient itself is a preservation champion. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow, what a deep dive. We went from the searing heat of a Manila-inspired Akar to the cool, technical elegance of a yuzu gel, the surprising richness of bone marrow confit. Just incredible range.
Confit, curd, ferment, shrub, leather, gastrique, we'll say.
Yeah.
The sheer diversity of techniques is amazing,
Yeah.
all stemming from the humble cranberry.
It really underscores the core idea, doesn't it?
I think so. It shows that if you truly master the fundamentals of an ingredient, understand its properties, you can transform it in championship-level ways. Applying disciplined technique, strategic pairings, you can elevate something common into dozens of unique, high-value experiences. That applies way beyond cooking,
So what's the final takeaway for you, the listener? The source highlights how cranberry's own natural compounds help preserve these creations, maintaining safety and nutrition. Think about that.
Yeah, consider the deeper implication there. If natural science, combined with human ingenuity and precise technique, can turn one single, part berry, into 23 distinct, complex, long-lasting culinary creations, what common ingredient, what basic skill, what overlooked asset in your life holds that same kind of hidden potential?
What cornerstone are you maybe underestimating? What could be transformed into something complex, valuable, and enduring with the right approach?
Something to think about as you continue your own deep dive.